Guys, it's me, Paco. Hey guys, today we're going to be going over my September book haul. This is all the books that I received in the month of September. Dumb Paco. August book haul. This is going to be all the books I received in August. It is currently September, which is why I said September. But, yeah. August book haul was going to be a lot smaller, and then at the end of the month, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna buy more books. So it's bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Not huge by any means necessary, but bigger than I thought it was gonna be. And that's what she said. So in the month of August, we've got 13 books gotten. I did not get a Fairy Loot book this month because the Fairy Loot package was delayed, so I'm getting it in September. So there will be no Fairy Loot books this month to show. But let's get to it. So the first book I'm going to show is a book that came out last month, and I'm currently reading right now, and that is Vampires del Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is Isabel Cañas' second novel, and this is about vampires and Vincuestos face off in the Texas-Mexican border in the supernatural western. So basically it is about two characters, Nestor and Nestor. And they were childhood friends. Nestor worked at his family worked at the ranch that Nesta's family owned. Is it Nesta? I'm reading it right now. Nina. Don't ask, Paco. How many times am I gonna say but Nestor's family works at Nina's family's ranch, and they grow, like, they're both children together and they're friends until one night when they are out looking for silver, something attacks Nina and Nestor thinks it kills her, so Nestor runs, and Nina survives, but she thinks that Nestor abandoned her, but she doesn't know that Nestor thought she was dead, and Nestor doesn't know that Nina's still alive until one day when the people of Texas, Americans, start invading more of Mexico to try to get more of the land, and the people of Mexico are like, no, we're not going to fucking tolerate this. They try to fight back, and they're like, we need all the people we can, and so Nestor is called back to the ranch because he does have family still in the ranch. Even though he's been avoiding it for 9 years, he comes back, and Nesta is there. Nina. Dumb Paco. How many times did I say Nina? Nina is there, and she has been training to be a curandera, and she is trying not to be married off, and they both go to fight, and there's also vampires, like, stalking the night. But so far it's so good. I'm only like 100 and something pages in. I'm already loving it. I love the Hacienda by this author, so I'm very excited to finish this. So the next book I had to show you is one of my another anticipated release of the year, and that is Foxglove by Miss Adeline Grace. This is the sequel to Belladonna. Now, if you don't know what Belladonna is about our main girl here, Stigna, who, when she is a baby, she survives this, like, party that is poisoned, where everybody dies except for her. And since then, she has not been able to die, and she can see ghosts. And the one shadow that follows her the most is death. And she's gone from, like, relative to relative to be, like, taken care of, and they keep dying. And then one day, Signa is, like, 18. She's super close. I think she's, like, a year away from getting her inheritance, is sent to live with her cousins. And one of her cousins is dying, and she's like, okay, that's enough. I'm going to fight off death. But death may not be the enemy she thinks he is, and there may be something. But I really enjoyed Belladonna. This is the sequel, Foxglove. I'm very excited to be reading this. I will be reading this next month for something to come, next video. But I'm very excited for Foxglove. The next book I have here was actually the book club pick for my book club for last month, and it was Damned If You Do by Alex Brown. This is about our main girl, Cordelia, who, when Cordelia was 7, her abusive father is sent to hell. And 10 years later, the demon that sent her abusive father to hell is like, hey, I need your help. There's a bigger, badder demon. If you help me beat him, I'll free your soul. That we made this bargain for. And Cordelia is like, what? And things go from there. I really enjoyed this. This was a fun debut novel. I don't want to go too much into the review. I did review this in my wrap-up video, so that review will be up shortly. Not shortly, it's already up. So that video will be linked down below. The next book is a book I will be reading this month, and that is Blue Beetle, Graduation Day. This is by Josh Tururo, Adriana Gutierrez, and Will Quintina. So this book follows Jaime Reyes, has a lot to juggle, whether it's friends, senior year, or the new villain tearing up El Paso. Jaime is always split between two worlds, but when worlds come crashes together at his high school graduation, nothing will ever be the same. A message from the Reach bombards Jaime's scarab Kajida, and it starts throwing off the connection to the device. And if that wasn't enough, Jaime's parents are sending him to live with his Diaz in Palmer City. But what's hidden here on Earth that's drawing the Reach back? Why are these different colored beetles popping up and coming to kill him? Can Jaime find balance in his life and rise to become a true hero, or will it be curtains for Blue Beetle? Very excited to read this, especially after the Blue Beetle movie that came out this last month. It was really good. If you haven't seen the Blue Beetle movie, I highly recommend. But I'm excited to read this. I've heard the author talk about the series, and I've seen him on Twitter post snippets of it, and I'm very excited. I mean, the art is also just gorgeous, but very excited to read this. So the next two books are one I'm currently reading at this moment, and that is A Reaper at the Gate by Saba Tahir and A Sky and Storm. These are books 3 and 4 for the Ember and the Ashes Quartet. I already had book 1 and 2 in paperback, so I bought 3 and 4 in paperback. But this series follows Lila and Silas as they are involved in this empire. Lila is a member of the scholar race, and they are the people that are oppressed by the empire. And Silas is a member of Black Cliff Academy at the start of the book 1, where they are training him to be a mask, which are the personal killers of the empire, and he doesn't want to be. He was taken from his home. He didn't have a choice to be here, and he doesn't want to be a killer, so he's trying to escape, and their fates collide. And I really enjoyed book 1 and 2. I am in the middle is lightly, I'm 13% into book 1, but I'm enjoying it. So the next book I have here is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. This is the now physical re-released edition. This I read Under the Whispering Door last month for a book club with Nell, and I noticed that these books, because they redid these books, these were originally self-published, and I realized that these kind of have the same aesthetic vibe as the other covers, and so I was like, fuck it, I'll get them. This is his werewolf series, and I do love werewolves. This is also queer, and I do love queer, because, but it's just his... I'll read the description, because I don't even really know what this book is about. Oxman Matthews was 12 when his father taught him a lesson. Ox wasn't worth anything, and the people would never understand him. Then his father left. Ox was 16 when the energetic Bennett family moved in next door, harboring a secret that would change him forever. The Bennetts are shapeshifters. They can transform into wolves at will. Drawn to their magic, loyalty, and enduring friendship, Ox feels a gulf between the extraordinary new and the quiet life he knows, but he finds an ally in Joe, the youngest Bennett boy. Ox was 23 when murder came to town and tore a hole in his heart. Violence flared, tragedy split the pack, and Joe left town, leaving Ox behind. 3 years later, the boy is back, except now he's a man, charming, handsome, but haunted, and Ox can no longer ignore a song that howls between them. I'm interested to read this. I don't know when I will be reading this, but this one... interested. So the next book, I caved in and I bought Tessa of the Emerald Sea. This is a book by Brandon Sanderson. This is his first of his secret projects. I hate this cover. I wish it was the other covers. But I was very intrigued in reading this. The synopsis gave Stardust vibe, and even though I've never read Stardust, I've watched the movie and I love the movie. And the synopsis gave that vibe. So I will read the synopsis to you. The only life Tress has known on her island home is an emerald sea. Ocean has a simple one, with a simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride in a disaster strike, Tess must now away on a ship and seek the sorceress of a deadly midnight sea amid the sour explore oceans when pirates aboard contest to leave her simple life behind and make her own place, sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death. And, like, I don't hate this cover, but I just wish it was the other cover. I'm also very interested in the newest of the Sanderson secret books, secret projects, which is Yumi and the Night Painter. And so I might read all of them because the other one doesn't sound disinteresting. So I think I'm going to get all 4 of them and read them. I didn't spend all that money on his secret, like, project Kickstarter, but I will buy them when they come out. The next book that I have is You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. This is by Caitlin Bryan. If you know, I do love Caitlin Bryan's other series. I liked Cinderella is Dead, and I loved This Poison Heart. And so this is her, like, thriller, and I got it at Target. But I'm the final girl guaranteed to survive the night. Charity has the summer job of her dreams, playing the final girl at Cat Mirror Lake. Guests pay to be scared in the full contact terror game, a charity for and her summer crew recreated scenes from classic Thatcher films. The Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. The more realistic the fear, the better the business. But on the last weekend of the season, Charity's co-workers begin disappearing, and when one ends up dead, Charity's role as the final girl suddenly becomes all too real. If Charity and her girlfriend Busy hope to survive the night, they'll need to figure out what the killer is after. As they unravel the bloody history of the real Mirror Lake, Charity discovers that there might be more to life, or to the story, than she's ever suspected. But I'm interested in reading this. I do love I'm not the hugest, like, horror movie fan, but I might try to get more into thrillers. And I trust Caitlin Bryan's writing, so I am intrigued. My mouth is getting dry. I need water, but I will get water after I film. Okay, next book I have here is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is the special edition. I am now a Samantha Shannon, like, verge of stan, because I loved Pirate of the Orange Tree. So I will be reading A Day of Fallen Night this year at the end of the year, and this will probably be my 23 for 23 challenge, the first book at least. But got the special edition because it was pretty on hardcover and I wanted it, and I saw it and I was like, I want this, mine. But all I know really is that this book takes place in the future, and it's got clairvoyance, and I'm very excited to read it, especially after having read Pirate of the Orange Tree. You can tell my mouth's getting dry because I don't want to read descriptions anymore as much. I got 3 more books, guys. We got this. So the next book I have here is The Phoenix King by Ariana. My dumbass can't read. Aparna Verma? I think I probably butchered her name. This is a beautiful book. From a stunning new voice in fantasy comes an Indian-inspired action-packed debut of fire magic and ancient prophecy, in which the fate of a kingdom rests in the hands of a princess desperate for power and an assassin with a dark secret. The Revi kingdom was born to a prophecy craved from unforgetting desert sand and ruled by the reverenced bloodline, those with the power to command the internal flame. Elena Adia is the heir to the throne, and the only revenue who can't wield her family's legendary magic. As her coronation approaches, she will do whatever it takes to prove herself a worthy successor to her revered father. But she doesn't anticipate the arrival of Yasin Knight, the notorious assassin who now claims fealty to the throne. Elena's father might trust Yasin to be a member of her royal guard, but he is hiding something. As the threat of war looms like a storm on the horizon, the two began a dangerous dance of intrigue and betrayal, and the choices they make could burn down the world. I saw this book when I was on Twitter. The author was talking about it, and it looks awesome. I love also Phoenixes. Like, I'm a huge X-Men stan, and I love anything Phoenix. I love any, like, magic, especially when it's a bird. I don't know why. I love when a person has bird symbolism and magic. It's weird. I like it. It's my love from Jean Grey, X-Men. So, bird. Firebird. Paco Likey. Also, I'm probably going to buddy read this with Helen, because we're going to start, like, buddy reading Firebird books and Phoenix Scout. Firebird. Okay, 2 more books. The next book is Scarlet Witch, Volume 1, The Last Door, by... Does this have... the author name? Steve Orlando is the author. I want to know what the crew is. Okay, Steve Orlando is the writer. Sarah Piccinelli, Russell Dodderman, and Carlos Nito are artists that were on it. Liz Domenko was an inking assistant. Matthew Wilson and Tierna Forno are color artists. And then Stephanie Williams also wrote a short story in this bind-up. But Scarlet Witch Volume 1, The Lost Door. So if your need is great and your hope is gone, then you will meet the Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff is a familiar with hitting rock bottom. And now that she's finally found peace, she's pledged to help others who are... Raina bumped into the camera. She just legit walked in the room, bumped into the camera, looked at me and walked out, like, rude. But I was saying, Scarlet Witch, I relate to Wanda. She is a mentally ill witch with issues with her father. Relatable. And, I'm really excited to read this. I've heard great things. I love the art I've seen on Twitter. And I'm just really excited. I love Wanda. Not my favorite superheroine, but I do want to love her more, and I'm very excited to read this. Also, like, Polaris is in this, and, like, Polaris has been a, like, 2022 favorite. Polaris. So, and I also know there's a Storm story in here, which I'm very excited to read. Okay, so the last book is a book I have read, and that is House of Marin by J.L. So this book is about a girl who has dark magic, and she's been on the run. Her and her mom have been on the run forever because of her forbidden magic. And one day when assassins try to kill her, our main girl's like, yo, I'm going to this magic school in secret, and I'm going to try to learn proper magic to hide my dark magic, because the dark magic is like, I don't want that, and shit happens. This is a, like, school setting, but it's also very Bridgerton, like, etiquette-wise. And it was enjoyable, but I didn't love it. I don't know if it was just the mood I was in when I was reading it. I'm reading this for my book club. But I talked about this a little bit in the last vlog, but I will be talking about this more at the end of the month. At the beginning of the month for my wrap-up. But yeah, those are all the books I've read. I bought in the month of August. Yes, that is correct, August. What did you guys buy? What are you most excited for if you haven't read? Like, I'm most excited for Fox Love, since I'm currently reading Members del Norte. And what are you going to buy next month? I am in the middle of a book buying man for September. The only books I have are some pre-order books coming and some fairy loot. But that is all the time we have here. I will see you guys next time. I try to post videos every Friday. I will be doing vlogs, hopefully Wednesdays, and sprints eventually. But I am starting my basketball season soon, so expect less shit. I'm going to try to keep up with videos. I just got to start mass filming, which I haven't done yet, but I do need to start mass filming. But I will see y'all later. Links down below and everything. Bye!